All right, what's up, guys? We should be live, should be good to go. 6-game slate tonight. A lot of news to talk about. We did get some big news from San Antonio. A lot of guys were ruled out from San Antonio, specifically Dejounte Murray, which really impacts the slate. Dejounte Murray was questionable heading into today, and he ultimately did get ruled out. So there's going to be a lot to like from San Antonio. They are pretty shorthanded. They still do have like 11 players available, but there's going to be some value to go to here. We did already get the starting lineup, and it's a little bit different than what I expected it to be. I thought they were going to start Drew Eubanks in place of Pirtle, and they're actually starting Thaddeus Young. So I think Thaddeus Young starting at center is a really, really good value play. I like him a lot now. I think Tre Jones, he's starting at point guard. I think Tre Jones looks like a pretty good value play. I think Derek White's role without Dejounte Murray looks really good. So Derek White I really like. Tre Jones I like for value. Thad Young I like for value. Devin Vassell I think's in play now. Lonnie Walker I think's in play. Like there's a lot of guys you can go to from San Antonio. I think White, Johnson, Vassell, Walker, Tre Jones, and Thad Young, all 6 of those guys are in play for me. Now obviously you're probably not playing all 6 in one lineup, but I think 3, maybe even 4 Spurs on this slate is probably going to be the way to go. There's just too much value here to ignore. So you're going to definitely want to get some exposure to San Antonio. I think for me, I'm probably looking at like 3 to 4 Spurs. I don't know if I'd play 5. I think 5 might be a little bit too much, but my 3 favorites, when you factor in price point, are probably Derek White, just because I think his role without Murray is going to be really, really good. So really like Derek White, really like Thad Young. I think Thad Young's the best value play on the slate for sure. And then probably Devin Vassell, Tre Jones, kind of third for me. Maybe we give a slight edge to Vassell, just because I think his minutes are a little bit more secure than Tre Jones, but Tre Jones starting at point guard, I like him for value too. And if you want to play like Lonnie Walker off the bench, I have no problems with that. If you want to play Keldon Johnson, I think he's firmly in play. A lot of value from San Antonio to talk about for sure. And then, some other news came out during the day. Zach LaVine was questionable, but we just got word he's going to play. We're still waiting for Trae Young news. That's kind of the big news we're waiting on right now. We'll have to pay attention to that heading up until lock. I don't know when we're going to get the Trae Young news. The Hawks play at 7:30. Hopefully we'll have the news before lock, but that's like the only news we're waiting on so far. So yeah, guys, if you have questions tonight, you can start throwing those in chat. We'll be live to about 6:30, trying to answer all your guys' questions, and hopefully we can get a win tonight. Best small forward Bay now with the news. Yeah, we did get word that Cade Cunningham's out. I think Cade Cunningham being out does make some guys look a little bit better from Detroit. Like I think Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant are in play. Whoever starts, whether it's like Frank Jackson or Corey Joseph, I think you can go there for value. I'm not too excited about Detroit guys, but I think Sadiq Bey's playable. My favorite small forward's probably Devin Vassell though. I think Devin Vassell is the guy I like most at small forward. Assuming Trey and Fox are still both out, Bogdan or Mitchell, I would take Davion Mitchell. What's good, Noah? Can you rank Spurs, please, with price included? I think, yeah, we just kind of did that. We kind of did that already. Basically, Thad Young is my favorite value from San Antonio, and then probably second favorite would be White, third, Vassell, fourth, Jones, fifth, Keldon, sixth, Lonnie. Probably those 6 are the guys I like most in that order. Edwards or OG? I would go OG. You like Thad Young now that he's supposed to start over Eubanks? Yeah, I prefer Thad over Eubanks. Thad's a really, really good point per minute player. Thad's kind of been in and out of the rotation, so I don't know if he plays a ton of minutes, but I think if Thad Young plays 23, 24 minutes, he's pretty likely to do well at his salary. I mean, he's the minimum salary. So Thad Young's the best value play on the slate for sure. Favorite value plays in Detroit. I mean, we'll have to wait and see what the starting lineup is. If Frank Jackson starts, I think he's a viable punt option. If Corey Joseph starts, you could go there. But I'm not too excited about Detroit. I think the value from San Antonio looks a lot better, in my opinion. Favorite guard between Curry, CP3, Westbrook, and Booker. Between those 4, probably Devin Booker, my favorite. But all 4 of those guys are viable tonight. Probably Booker, my favorite, though. Am I really playing 4 starters from San Antonio? Hey, it seems like it. Seems like it's going to be that way. I mean, right now, I think in my main lineup, I have 4 Spurs. So, it's just kind of how the slate's setting up. I mean, you kind of have to play these guys. They're so cheap and they project so well that you're going to have to roster some Spurs. Spurs lineup was an expected lineup, so you never know with Pop. That is very true. We'll have to pay attention to that. They said that the Spurs are expected to start Jones, White, Vassell, Johnson, Young, they're expected to start those 5. That doesn't mean those are the guaranteed starters. So just pay attention to that. It wouldn't be surprising if the Spurs, if he changes his lineup, last minute. But for now, I'm just gonna, assume that's the starting lineup that we got earlier. Bogdan Melo or Kojo. I mean, if Trey is out, I would play Bogdan there. If Trey plays, then I'd probably go like Melo, I guess. VanVleet 8,400 or Halliburton at 7,600 on FanDuel. Probably would side with VanVleet there. Halliburton, for me, it's going to depend on if De'Aaron Fox plays or not. De'Aaron Fox is questionable once again. He's been questionable for, it's been like a week now, and he hasn't played. So I'm guessing Fox is going to be out still. Probably would still side with VanVleet there, but Halliburton is definitely viable, if Fox sits. You like any Pistons guards, Diallo, Corey Joseph? It'll depend on starting lineup. If Corey Joseph starts, he'll be in play. If Frank Jackson starts, he'll be viable. I'm not too excited about the Pistons, though, personally. Like, I would definitely be rostering more Spurs than I would be Pistons, personally. I've got 4 Spurs, 2 Raptors, and Anthony Davis. I mean, I think that's fine, Elvin. I think that's fine. Ant should be really low owned with how bad he's played lately. So, if that's a tournament lineup, you should get Ant at really good ownership. AD, I think, is in a great spot. Without LeBron, I think AD and Westbrook both offer a lot of upside. And then 2 Raptors, I mean, yeah, I'm always fine playing, 1 or 2 Raptors just because, when it comes to the Raptors, where the minutes are going to go. 3.8K Ford. Let's see. Man, I don't know how much I don't know if there's really going to be much value down here. You're probably looking to like I think with Otto Porter out, they might start Moses Moody again. Last time Moses Moody started, obviously not last game because last game they were without like the entire team, but the game before that Moses Moody started. He played 25 minutes. Like, I think Moses Moody starts for Otto Porter, so he might be your best play down there. There really isn't much value at forward that cheap. Like, I really don't want to play like THT or Terrence Mann or McDaniels or Javonte Green. So it's probably where I'd go. Isaiah Jackson ruined us last night. Dude, the Isaiah Jackson thing was just, oh my God. He literally got injured like 20 seconds into the game. Like, I was turning the games on my TV. I have my computer open. I literally see Isaiah Jackson headed to the locker room. And I'm like, what? Like, the game just fucking started. How is he headed to the locker room? And then I pulled up the play-by-play, and literally like 20 seconds in, they called a timeout, and I was like, oh shit, well, there goes that. Unreal, man. And he was so chalky too. He was like 70% owned in the contest I was in. 5,100 at util. Let's see. 5,100. You're probably playing. I mean, I think if De'Aaron Fox is out, Davion Mitchell would be the guy I would take there. 4,800. Favorite point guard, points per dollar. I mean, points per dollar, it's probably. I mean, if you can pay up, it's probably like Devin Booker. But if you're going cheap, I think Trey Jones looks good. I think Davion Mitchell, if Fox is out, looks pretty good. Like, those are my 3 favorite point guards, I'd say. Hero as a sneaky play. I'm not really on Hero. There's a chance Kyle Lowry returns tonight. It seems like Kyle Lowry is going to play. So if Kyle Lowry plays, I just don't really have much interest in Hero if Lowry's back. Thoughts on Kuminga, assuming Sacramento gets blown out? I mean, yeah, if that game turns into a blowout, which is possible. I mean, I think Kuminga will play a lot in a blowout. If you want to play Kuminga and hope for a blowout, I mean, I don't hate it. He should play a little bit more regardless because Otto Porter's out. But yeah, Kuminga would really get there in a blowout. So if you want to play him and hope for it, like, go ahead. OG, Wiggins, or Bay? Give me OG there. Favorite payups over 9K? I mean, probably Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Westbrook. Probably like those 4 guys. I would have said DeRozan's someone I do still like a little bit. I would have liked him a little bit more if Levine was out, but I think DeRozan's still fine to go with. But definitely probably like Booker, AD, probably like my 2 favorites. Is Clay 30 minutes game away from 40 plus fantasy points? Well, I don't know if Clay gets to 30 minutes just yet. I think he's going to soon enough get there. He's probably still like at 27, 28. I mean, Clay could put up 40 fantasy points in 28 minutes tonight, and I would not be surprised. Does Clay stand out on this slate? I don't think so, but in tournaments, like, he should be fairly low owned. Guys like Derek White, Gary Trent, like, those guys are going to be way more popular than Clay, and they're, similarly priced. So if you want to play, Clay in tournaments, I don't hate it. Booker or Siakam, I would take Booker. Thoughts on Carmelo on FanDuel? I don't look at FanDuel pricing. I don't really play on FanDuel. Don't know what Carmelo's price is over there. I don't think I'd be playing Carmelo, but, it's your lineup. You do what you want. You still have Booker with Ayton returning. I think Booker's still a pretty good play. I mean, Devin Booker and Chris Paul have just been playing so many minutes lately. Their roles have just been so massive. Devin Booker's taken like 20-plus shots in like 6 straight games or something. I mean, he's just been chucking. So, man, I think Devin Booker's still a pretty good play, and regardless, of Ayton's return, just because without Cameron Payne, they're really playing Booker and Paul a ton right now. Herter, if no trade, Diallo or Vassell. That would be close between Herter and Vassell. Like, if Trey's out, might side with Herter over Vassell, but that's a really close one. It's a really close one. Any interest in Van Vliet? I mean, I think Van Vliet's always in play. If it's a close game, Fred Van Vliet's going to play 41 minutes. Like, he's always viable. I would probably prefer Devin Booker over him straight up, but I have no issues with Fred Van Vliet. Booker, DeRozan, or Siakam? Give me Booker there. Westbrook or Booker? Side with Booker, but that's a close one. I mean, I do like Westbrook a lot. Westbrook should have had a triple-double last night. It was 1 point shy. I think Westbrook's kind of figuring things out right now. He's starting to play a lot better. And without LeBron, he's got upside for sure. Best utility, 5,700 and under. Well, Keldon Johnson's 5,700, so I'd probably play Keldon Johnson there. Bam, Van Vliet, or Edwards? Give me Van Vliet. How you feel about Jimmy Butler? Now that Kyle Lowry's back, I just don't have a ton of interest in Jimmy. I think Jimmy really benefited when Lowry was out because Jimmy was playing point guard. His assists were way up. Jimmy's still going to have a really good role. He's still going to play a ton of minutes. He's going to have the ball in his hands plenty. But I think with Lowry now coming back, and Jimmy's price being up, I'm not that excited about Jimmy, personally. Any interest in Strus if Lowry's out again? Would only consider Strus if Lowry's out again, but I think Lowry's going to play. I think the last update we got was that he was planning to play. Lowry was. OG, Lowry, or Barnes? Give me OG there. Would you play Mikal Bridges? I mean, Mikal Bridges' price is way up. He's been playing really well. I think he's still viable just because, it's kind of similar with Devin Booker and Chris Paul. If it's a close game, they're going to play 40 minutes. If it's a close game, Mikal Bridges is going to play like 40 minutes. So the minutes make Mikal Bridges viable, but I wouldn't expect, 50 DraftKings points from him like he's been doing. I think he's been overproducing. I'll say that. But the minutes make him viable. What 8K and under shooting guard do you like for DK besides Ant? Let's see. Probably like Gary Trent, Derek White. Like, those would be the 2 guys I'd be looking to under 8K at shooting guard. Coffee or Mitchell? I would take Davion if Fox is out. Luckily, those are the late games, so you can kind of make that decision. If we get news that Fox is playing, just swap to Coffee. But if Fox is out, I would play Mitchell. Betty, Wiggins, Hero, or Grant? Give me Wiggins there. What do you think about fading White? Don't want to get popped, blow out risk, and front end of back-to-back. I mean, I really like Derek White. I think he will be pretty popular. If you want to fade him, like, I don't think it's terrible. I could definitely see ways Derek White fails. But we've seen in the past, whenever Deontay's been out, like, Derek White has really big upside. He's had some really big games in the past when Deontay's been out. But yeah, I mean, it's the front end of a back-to-back, or is it the front end? I'm guessing they play tomorrow. Let me see. Yeah, so the Spurs do play in San Antonio against Houston tomorrow. I mean, that's always a risk on the front end of back-to-back. Could they get blown out here and they rest guys and sit guys early? It's always a possibility, but if the game stays close and Derek White plays his full minutes, man, I'd be surprised if he doesn't do well at his salary. I personally will not be fading Derek White. He's in my lineup right now. Any interest in CP3? Yeah, CP3 firmly in play. Him and Devin Booker. Like we said earlier, if it's a close game, those guys are going to play 38, 40 minutes, and their usage has been way up lately. Favorite play at 5,800? Keldon Johnson's 5,700, so I'd probably play Keldon Johnson there. Desumu or Coffee? Probably would take Amir Coffee. Who benefits from Pirtle being out? Well, they said they're going to start Thad Young at center, so Thad Young's the really good value play to go to. I mean, I guess you still could play Eubanks, but I think now that Thad is expected to start, I would play Thad over Eubanks. Thoughts on Kuminga? I mean, I think Kuminga, again, like if it's a blowout, he will get there. If it's a close game, how much does Kuminga really play? I don't know. Obviously, he really benefited last game with, when everyone was out. Now that you're getting Steph back, you're getting Wiggins back, Porter's still out. I think Kuminga plays like 18, 20 minutes. If it's a blowout, he could play 25, 26. So I think if you play Kuminga tonight, you're probably hoping that it gets ugly. Best play at $11 forward on Yahoo. Man, I don't know if there's many cheap forwards on Yahoo that I like. If you're looking for a cheap forward, you're probably playing like, God, I mean, I don't even know. Maybe Nicholas Batum. I mean, I guess if Lowry's out, you can maybe play Max Strus. I think with Marvin Bagley still out, like Chimezie Metu's fine. Last game he played 23 minutes. He probably plays like 24, 25 minutes. He's a decent point per minute player. Like I think Metu might be your best bet there. But there's really not many cheap forwards on Yahoo that are that low. Okay, we just get word DeAndre Ayton and Jay Crowder are available. Still waiting for Trae Young news though. I think I saw earlier that Trae went through shoot around. Okay, Trae Young went through shoot around this morning and is going through his usual pregame warm up now. That's what we got from Underdog. I'm guessing Trae plays. Hopefully we'll get some update here shortly. But that's really the only news we're waiting on is Trae Young news. 4.1K forward Gallo if Trae's out. I mean, I wouldn't hate that, Gabriel. I feel like if I could, I would want to get up to like Vassell or Lonnie Walker because I would prefer those guys. But like, I don't hate Gallo if Trae's out. If you wanted to go that route, I would probably want to get to those Spurs guys though if I could. How you feel about Bam? I mean, I think it's a really good spot for Bam going up against Thad Young and Drew Eubanks. It's just that with Lowry coming back, with the Heat pretty much fully healthy now, I don't think Bam really stands out on this slate. But that that doesn't mean Bam can't have a good game against this depleted Spurs front court. Who's your favorite Clipper of these three? Jackson, Morris, Coffee? Probably Jackson if I had to pick one of the three. Bam or Edwards? I would lean Bam, but that's a really close one. Pascal or Bam? Give me Pascal. Hunter or Diallo? I would go Hunter. Ant Vassell or OG and Marcus Morris? Give me OG and Marcus Morris, but that's another really close one. Biggest boost with Otto out? I mean, I think they're going to start Moses Moody again. So if you want to go to Moses Moody for value, I don't think it's terrible. But we know when it comes to the Warriors, like they're just going to split the minutes up. Maybe Moses Moody plays a little bit more. Maybe Kuminga plays a little bit more. Maybe JTA plays a little bit more. Maybe they play Gary Payton. Like they have so many guys they can give minutes to. I don't know if there's really anyone who benefits greatly with Otto Porter out. $18 forward, should I just rebuild my lineup? You can play Vassell. Vassell on Yahoo is $16, so I would definitely play Vassell there. Favorite power forward if money's no object? I mean, if you can play any power forward, I mean, probably like Jimmy or DeRozan, or maybe Siakam. Probably DeRozan or Siakam, like one of those two, if you can just pay it for anybody. Any interest in Looney? Not for me. Just with the team fully healthy, like I just really question Looney's upside. Looney's a guy I just don't play that often. Thoughts on Cat Barber? Dude, I hope that's not a real question. Cat Barber has even been in the rotation. Dude, he hasn't played in like a month. I would not play Cat Barber. I don't even know if he's on the active roster. Thoughts on Lonnie Walker? I mean, yeah, Lonnie Walker, you're going to come off the bench, but I think he still plays a good amount. The Spurs, they're going to be shorthanded. They only have like 10 or 11 guys. I think even though he's not starting, Lonnie Walker probably still plays 24, 25 minutes. And at his cheap price point, he's firmly in play. He should be a lot lower owned than some of the starters. So if you want to go to Lonnie Walker in tournaments to get a little different, I don't hate it. Davis or Siakam? I would go AD straight up. Is 5 Spurs okay if you have 3 juicier studs? I mean, I think 5 Spurs would probably be the max for me, but I think it's fine. It's just like, a lot of the best value is coming from San Antonio. So I'm fine playing 5 Spurs if you like your lineup. I would be surprised though if like the winning tournament lineup has 5 Spurs in it, but you never know. If they keep the game close, if it winds up being a close game, high scoring, like there could definitely be 5 Spurs in the winning lineup in that scenario. Is Frank Jackson a play? I think with Cade out, Frank is viable. If he starts, I'd feel a little bit better about him, but I still prefer the San Antonio value over Frank Jackson, personally. Could be a good time to go Edwards after 2 bad efforts with Russell out. I mean, yeah, I think Ant will be really low owned. I mean, he's had 2 back-to-back really bad games, but that doesn't mean that Ant can't come out here and put up like 55, 60 tonight. I mean, I'd assume his projected ownership is just really, really low. Let me take a look. Ant's projected for, right now it says 31%. There's no way Anthony Edwards is going to be 31% owned. I'll refresh these projections, but yeah, I would be very surprised if Ant's 31% owned. I mean, he says he's 31%, but I don't think he'll be that high. Nowhere close to that. There's too many other standout plays today for Ant to draw that much ownership. Also on Jeremy Grant, I mean, I think now that Cade's out, like Jeremy Grant is playable. He doesn't really stand out on this slate, though. There's too many other guys priced around him that I'd rather be playing. Also, he was kind of on a minutes limit last game. He played like 29 minutes, so I don't know how many minutes he really plays today. If he gets, like 35, 36, like he had been playing, I don't think he gets that high. Maybe 30, 32, which probably isn't enough. Give your like, still working. Thanks for what you do, brother. I appreciate you, Michael. Appreciate you, my man. Thoughts on Cat? I mean, Cat should be low owned on this slate. If you want to go there in tournaments, I don't hate it. Good matchup against Detroit. He could definitely smash against this Detroit front court. He's viable. He's not like my favorite stud, though. There's a lot of guys I play ahead of Cat, personally. Should I play Harrison Barnes? I mean, like, Harrison Barnes is okay. If Fox gets ruled out, I'd feel a little bit better about Harrison Barnes, but nowhere near a priority for me on this slate. Again, too many other guys I'd be playing over Harrison Barnes. All right, guys, I think we're going to wrap up the stream here. I was hoping that we would get some Trae Young news, but we're still waiting for Trae Young news. That's really the only news we're waiting on as of now. But yeah, guys, best of luck tonight. Appreciate you tuning into the stream. We'll be back tomorrow, an hour before lock once again. Big Friday night slate, I'd assume. Haven't even looked at the slate for tomorrow, but I'd assume we'd have a lot of games. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Best of luck tonight. Good luck. We'll see you tomorrow, boys. Peace.